everybody? We're back here at Beachfront Banter, and in this episode, well, this is a very special episode for us. I'm Frank Ryan.
I'm Adam Pettenjoe.
And I'm visibly nervous. Not
yes,
really.
This is the big day.
This is the big day. The man, the myth, the legend, the grand poobah, Schell himself.
We finally got him on. We finally got him on.
Yeah.
And to start, we just want to show a little document that we put together ahead of this, just for Chris to read.
Happy about this.
I was fairly happy about this.
Make sure it's the right one. Nope.
Oh, wow, now you're spoiling my fun. So we got HR and your wife and John Horn. I want to make sure I was covered all angles, but we got a little addendum, a little piece of paper, get out of jail, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure if this does go badly, we actually keep our jobs. And so just a little bit of fun. Sarah's like, are we okay with this? And actually, in fact, I was texting Laurie last night and she was like, is anybody really going to get fired from this? I was like, no, it's just a prank. It's just fun.
Did you actually text Laurie?
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, go, because Chris is just coming in the house." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, just sign it." Because it's all DocuSign.
Yeah, it's all DocuSign.
That's hilarious.
I mean, this is great. Like, this is like if I get pulled over, I'm going to pull this out and just try.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate.
I noticed there's no expiration date. You guys are geniuses.
I know. That's what when Sarah gave it to us, I was like, "This is legit."
He's like, yeah, I might really use this.
Anyway, a little bit of fun. Not that we will need it. Okay, so we have the big man.
The big man. Actually, I was going to say, just so you know, whenever you do send an email that gives any type of permission, he has emails that are 13 years old. Because he might one day, he has a folder.
Actually, you know what? He has needed them at times. Because there definitely have been times that I've gotten mad at you about something and you're like, give me 5 minutes. 3 years and 21 days ago.
Facts,
you sent me this email.
Funny enough, though, I do have a picture of Dustin of many, many moons ago at Company Beach Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like
out the car.
Leverage?
Yeah.
Leverage.
Just in case.
Some file somewhere.
Very funny. All right. So today I think we're hoping. I mean, you're gonna have to obviously be on this more than once. There's too much.
Just so you know.
Yeah. I'm putting it out there now, so you can't say no.
It was in the document.
Yeah. It was in the
You won't see that document again, though.
No. But I mean, we talk a lot about Schell Brothers. We talk a lot about the culture, but who better to hear from it about it from the man himself, who obviously created. We've heard the story, the origin story, never too many times. By the way, it's always great when I hear it every time. You're supposed to smile and laugh, buddy. Otherwise it's not gonna... these are the jokes. These are the jokes.
Okay, you got it. There needs to be like cue joke cards.
Sign this for me, really. But no, I mean, again, so we do. We're part of the company meetings. We get to hear the stories. But not everybody does. And obviously, we have an audience out here, and if you want to share a little bit about the beginning of Schell Brothers and how it began. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear it from you.
So I think the best way to start is to explain that the misconception, people think that our whole happiness thing is purely like a marketing gimmick, so to speak. But the people who know the truth know that it's actually the whole reason the company exists. So I grew up in a wealthy area in California where I was where I grew up believing that the purpose of life was to do well in school, get a good job so you could be rich. And then, so I did that. I did well in school, went to a good college, ended up getting a job, learning how to trade futures from one of the world's best futures traders, and then computerized his methodology and started working with a business partner I met at business school. And we wrote automated futures trading systems that were sort of very short term. So our trades were 30 seconds to a minute long. It wasn't scalping like this stuff you hear about. It wasn't front running like some of the stuff you hear about, but it was short term. And it was short term. A human could never do it. Only computers could do it because you can't put the orders in fast enough.
Okay.
But anyway, I was living in Severna Park, Maryland. This was after business school. And we got the software finished. we started running the systems, and we started consistently making money. So we would have, in 10 days of trading, we might have one losing day. But the losing day would be about as much of a loss as like the average winning day. So like our equity curve was pretty much straight up. And I had like a strange experience where I think I expected, once I got to the point in my life where I had achieved or knew that I was going to achieve what I thought the purpose in life was, which was to like be, quote, successful and define success as wealth. I thought I was going to get like this satisfaction from it. And I was going to be like, okay, it's like clear sailing from here on out for the rest of my life. I'm going to be happy my whole life and everything. And I didn't get that at all. I wasn't getting any sort of happiness from it. And it made me start questioning everything I believed in. And I started to actually like get anxiety for the first time in my life. I never even knew what anxiety was before that. And started getting like panic attacks, or anxiety attacks, I guess is more like it. And then kind of realized that the cliche that I grew up believing was not true, that money doesn't bring happiness, is actually true. So I had, after a particularly bad panic attack one night, I had like this revelation that I don't need to do this. Like, clearly I don't really understand what makes people happy. And I don't have to keep on this path in life that I'm on. So I made the decision that night that I was going to sort of dedicate the rest of my life to prioritizing happiness and not wealth. First, I needed to figure out what made people happy. But so the next day I put my house on the market. Obviously, after speaking to my wife, I was married. Had one child and one on the way. She agreed because she knew I wasn't happy. Like she had seen it. So she's like, yeah, let's do it. So put my house on the market, gave my business away to my business partner. And then Lori and I moved to the beach. And I just kind of regrouped, and I started reading a bunch of books that I thought might help me understand happiness. I kept a little happiness journal. And then I kind of just became like a student of happiness for a while. Trying to figure out like what makes people happy. And after about probably 6 months of sort of soul searching and not doing really, I mean, my systems were still running because it was computerized. So I was still supporting myself financially. But after that, through a little encouragement actually from Nick Wexler, who is the third founder of Schell Brothers, I decided to start Schell Brothers. And I started it with sort of a unique purpose because of what I had gone through. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if a company that puts happiness first can really make it. And I thought, you know, we might do okay. We'll probably lose money if we sincerely put happiness first. But I still have my trading systems, so I can trade and make money, and I can lose money with Schell Brothers and hopefully find happiness somewhere in between. But like remarkably, I mean, you guys have been part of it. A sincere commitment to happiness has like incredible results. I mean, not only do I think it actually achieves the primary purpose, which is to promote happiness over profit, but it actually makes the company sort of successful by all definitions, including financial, because people are just so much more bought in, you know? I mean, honestly, I still to this day don't really know how to explain why the commitment to happiness has such profound effects on like the success of the company. Like, I don't really know how to verbalize it. But it clearly does. I mean, I think that that's still like our main secret sauce, so to speak.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I can say it from my perspective, like when we talk about like, you know, how maybe put some of this into words, like as an employee, you know, and being part of a team and a family, my wife works for the company and my son works for the company and my best friend works for the company. We fostered this friendship through through this culture of happiness. And the way I've always kind of explained it is that it's this work hard, play hard mentality, right? Where no one wants to be the weakest link, right? Because of the reward, because of the environment, we know from the top down that the happiness factor is there, that there's genuine care, that when we're doing the things that we're doing, like, you want to put in that extra step, you want to put in that extra work, you want to put in that time, you want to create things like this, right? We want to do things to, further the mission. And I think it's because of it's the atmosphere that you've created from the top down. It's that, for me anyway, it's that work hard, play hard. Like, you don't want to be, if we're going to get the reward, you want to make sure you earn it.
Right.
You want to earn your spot on the team.
So I think that's it. Like, I think that's a big part of it. I think our culture, going back to sort of the mission and the purpose, encourages people to want to work hard, not just for themselves, but for the team in general.
Yep.
Like, everybody wants to pull their weight, right? Yeah. Everybody wants to, they're thinking as much about their team members as they are about themselves. And I don't think that's terribly common, especially in corporate America, cutthroat, finance and stuff. Most people are pretty much out for themselves, and they're going to do what it takes to put themselves forward and put themselves first. And I don't think that happens in our company.
No. And the good thing too is we see it from the top down. It's not do as I say, it's do as I do kind of scenario. So I think that plays a huge part in everyone believes it, because it's not just talk. We see the action. So that's a big part.
I just want to go back a little bit in the story now. Why the beach?
Oh, good question. Because I am, if people may not realize this, you guys do, because I've talked about it, but I am naturally very introverted and not outgoing, not gregarious.
You got better. I feel like you.
No. I've gotten better because I've forced myself to get better. But my natural personality is not like that. And because of that, when we lived in Severna Park, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any friends there. The only person I really interacted with, obviously my wife and Caden, who was born at that point, was my business partner, who's a unique individual. In case he sees this, I'm not going to say too much. But if you can imagine a PhD in physics from Austria, who was a Baker Scholar at Harvard Business School, which is the top of the top, you're probably imagining the right type of guy. But
I rub elbows with those types of people all the time.
Definitely not Nick Wexler. Not Nick Wexler.
Yeah. But anyway, so I had lifeguarded. I had spent almost all my summers growing up down at the beach. And during college for a couple summers, I actually lifeguarded on Rehoboth Beach Patrol. And some of my best friends still at that point were friends I had made during my summers. And I had a ton of family down at the beach. I had a bunch of cousins, aunts and uncles. So the beach was my safe place. That was the place I could go and know people and have friends. And my parents, this was fortunate, but they had a house sitting there that was empty.
Yeah.
So I had a place I could move into and not worry about it. But that's why the beach has always been my happy place, my safe place. And if I was going to sort of regroup and rethink my entire life, and a lot of people thought I was blowing up my life, meaning people who weren't close to me were like, "What is this guy doing? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen anybody do."
It was a big thing, right? Big thing for your parents, for your mom, your dad.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, I think you guys might know the story, but my mom had an intervention. She staged an intervention. Actually, there's a couple interventions in my life. This is one of them. But where she had everybody come over, who she thought that I cared about. And then she sat me down, and I figured out pretty quickly, what is this? I thought I was coming over here to have dinner. Why am I sitting down and
so
everybody's
looking
in a
circle, no table?
And then the whole purpose was for her to try to talk some sense into me. This is when I told my parents I was starting Schell Brothers. And keep in mind, at the time, like now when you hear Schell Brothers, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. But at the time, all it was like 2 words and an idea.
Right.
And so she said, are you sure this is a good idea? Like, we think you're being foolish. And I said, well, what do you mean? I said, yeah, like I have a vision for this. Like, it's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to just trade using computers my whole life and really create no value for anybody and not see what I create. And she started crying and said, and I'll never forget it. She said, I cannot believe we sent you to MIT and Harvard so you could hammer nails.
Yeah, no, I share that every once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, gosh, Mom, I'm kind of hoping to run the company. I might be hammering nails for a little while, but not for that long. She obviously, I think, regrets saying that and has apologized, but yeah.
Well, at the time, I'm sure she was just thinking of
Yeah.
yourself. What about the part of the story that brings in your brother? In terms of like the, getting Preston to come down here as well.
Yeah. So when I moved to Florida, when I was working down in Boca Raton for the trader that taught me how to trade.
Mm-hmm.
And Preston actually moved there. I got him. He had gone to work for Merrill Lynch in Chicago and was miserable. And every time I talked to him, I could just tell he was miserable. So I had told him, like, I couldn't stand talking to him and seeing him so miserable anymore. So I had said, look, life doesn't need to be like this for you. Like, you need to quit your job. And he's like, I don't know if I can. Like, I'm going to be disappointing a lot of people. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you don't quit before the end of the day, I'm calling your boss tomorrow and I'm going to quit for you because I sound just like you. And he could tell that I was serious because I wasn't going to watch him like be so miserable. So he ended up moving down to the beach with me, or start moving down to Florida with me. And he said, well, what am I going to do now? And I said, well, if I didn't trade futures, I was going to get involved in real estate because I stayed at MIT for, really an extra year. It was only an extra semester in the sense that I didn't have a whole super senior year, but to take classes at MIT's graduate school of real estate.
I didn't know if you ever knew that.
Yeah. So I told Press this is what I was going to do if I didn't do trading. And so I gave him all my textbooks. And to his credit, he read them. I mean, can you imagine how boring it is to read textbooks when, when you don't have to like take tests or anything? But he read them. And when we moved back to Delaware together, and I was doing my trading on my own at that point, and I was renting office space from a guy named Gene Langford. And I said to Gene, I said, hey, my brother wants to get involved in real estate. He doesn't really know how to do it, or, he doesn't really have any connections or whatever. Can you just meet with him and sort of shoot the shit and maybe something will come of it? So Gene and Press met, and Gene actually said, look, I have this project I'm about to do. I'll put up the money and you do all the work and we'll split it like 50-50, which is amazingly fair to somebody starting out. Yeah. So that's what happened. And that's how Press got involved in real estate at the beach, which was obviously way before Schell Brothers. Mm-hmm. It's probably like 2 years before Schell Brothers. Mm-hmm. Actually, like 3 years, because we went off to business school together. And he kept doing real estate and I kept doing the trading while we were in business school. But yeah, so at first, obviously Preston and I founded Schell Brothers together, but it was always the intent that I would run it because he was running Ocean Atlantic. Mm-hmm. But at first he was not so amenable to the idea of me running it because he knew that I knew nothing about building homes. And he made it very clear that I knew nothing about building homes. So he's like, this is crazy. Like, you know nothing about construction. Or what he said was, I know nothing about construction, but I know 10 times more than you. But anyway, he came around. I think he was looking at me as like his twin brother who like used to throw scissors and shit at him. Instead of looking at me as like a guy who like got straight A's at MIT, went to Harvard Business School, and is offering him the ability to run his new company.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it that way, you're like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. He's probably a pretty good choice. But obviously, I think it worked out for both of us.
Yeah. Looks that way. Looks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, so that's how it started, and you've transformed this into something, big and great, and where we our presence in Delaware on the coast, new divisions, recently awarded 2023 Builder of the Year, a Pro Builder of the Year, North America. It's U.S. and Canada. It's huge, right? I mean, that was a great accolade. I mean, everybody in the company, was excited. I'm curious though, because I mean, you talked about it a little bit, like when you got the news, when you heard that you were Builder of the Year 2023, like what was it like? Like how overwhelming, or what?
So
what head?
I think just to preface this so that your audience understands, this is like the biggest award that a builder can get. Like there's nothing.
It's not Sussex County.
Well, and it's not just like a random like magazine, and it makes it sound sort of insignificant when you say Builder of the Year from Pro Builder magazine, but Pro Builder magazine is the NAHB publication. So it's really, and the NAHB is the National Association of Home Builders. So it's really like Builder of the Year for the NAHB.
Okay.
And it's the one that like I would read this issue every year, the Builder of the Year issue. And I remember thinking, wow, it'd be amazing if someday we'd get that. But I thought you had to apply for it. Like I just assumed that like builders would submit applications every year and they would choose one. And I knew we had never applied for it. And quite frankly, I wasn't sure we were ready to even attempt it yet. I mean, I think we're a great company, but it just never occurred to me that we should be trying to apply for Builder of the Year. And they called and said, you are one of 3 builders we're considering. And I remember thinking, well, wait, I didn't apply. Like,
how's it all come about? This is a scam.
You must have the wrong builder. We didn't submit an application. And they said, no, it doesn't work that way. Like we do our research. We see you guys at the Builders Show. We read about you. We do all the research we can do to try to figure it out. And we've heard about you guys for years. And they said, look, you're not chosen yet because in order to choose the winner, we have to have more access to your company. Like we need to interview your employees and stuff like that. So we gave them the access. And then, a few months later, they chose us. And it was awesome. Yeah. I do remember sort of thinking though, like, well, shit, where do we go from here? Like, what's our next goal?
Yeah.
But it was definitely an honor. Like,
yeah,
I was psyched.
No running around the house cheering, no waking Lori up in Milton. No, guess what we did? Guess what we...
We're on about, he probably has the cutout at home. I'm sure there's a cutout we had in all our models for the Builder of the Year. I'm sure he has it. Give it to the old...
Yeah. No longer a mirror in the morning. It's you are a handsome devil, aren't you?
Oh, very cool. Very cool. We know what Chris actually is, and we can't obviously. It's a bit not like quite like when we had Dan on. When we had Dan on, I had to be nice, and I obviously had to be nice. But Chris is a very, very good speaker, and we have monthly meetings with the team. And the team, obviously, we have the whole company and our sister company. It's grown crazily in terms of the amount of people, and like I said, we do our beach meetings, and there's a lot that we take away. It's people who are good talkers. Chris is a good talker. And there's a lot of things actually that he talks about that I carry as good things to go by in life, in terms of happiness and appreciating what other people will get in and doing, and just life in general. I'm just being appreciative in that sense. And wow, that was really basically it. Actually, no. But I wanted to go into actually. He likes to talk. No, in terms of like, he also is when he doesn't understand something, which I always loved. I'm not sure I can repeat in the sense I'd love to. Is if he doesn't understand something or something is coming about, he does read up on it and research it to death, and then actually shares it with us. It's almost like my little cheat code. So like even when like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency came about, he came into the meeting and explained it when I was like, oh, just saved me reading a couple of books. So I just feel like that's a very unusual trait And we talked about unusual traits with our company in terms of, I feel like it's not like you rely on other people. If there is stuff going on in the world, because it's not, when we have these meetings, it's not just about Schell Brothers. You know, there is that education of what's going on in the world, and just having a bit more knowledge in that sense. But I just respect in terms of, I know that, you know, he's an avid reader and research, and I think that's very admirable in that sense.
So what I took from that is if there's a company meeting coming up and Adam just throws you a suggestion, it means he doesn't want to do the reading. He doesn't want to do research. So, hey, you should talk about Chris.
But more onto that, let's talk about some of the other stuff. This time he does the heavy stuff. I do the light work. And so sports at the beach. Chris is very particular in terms of sports. Name your, and this is not my fire, but what is your top sport at the beach?
You mean
your favorite sport?
You mean that I play?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really two of them. One I play a decent amount. The other one I don't play as much anymore, but pickleball.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about pickleball.
I like pickleball.
That wasn't even on my list.
I think anybody who actually gives pickleball a chance is going to like it.
Yep.
It's surprisingly, it's like one of the few sports where you can do it, and like potentially the first time you're good enough at it that you actually enjoy it. Yeah, or at least you think you're good enough at it. And then after a couple of times, like, people get hooked. So, I mean, having our gym right here, it's helpful. But then also beach volleyball. So I don't play that as much. I played on the Starboard Claw team last summer. But I don't think I've played it all this summer. It's just tough to find the time.
Yeah. So what happens at the beach is that the restaurants have teams, and they play down at the Rudder and at North Beach. They play both venues.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly the court between the Rudder and the Lighthouse.
Yeah. It's just a pretty cool little local thing that goes on that maybe people don't realize. Like, there is like a small restaurant volleyball
and they take it pretty serious.
Yeah,
like some of the teams take it very seriously.
Yeah. And there's always good crowds, and like, people come down and watch, and it is pretty unique. But actually, those weren't the sports I was actually thinking of. Maybe we should say in the.
What are you thinking of? Cornhole and beer pong?
Yeah. There we go.
I don't consider those sports. Yeah, I mean, I play a decent amount of cornhole. I used to play a lot of beer pong, but apparently you do age out of that.
You do?
Thank God.
When?
I'm waiting. So yeah, I don't play really anymore. In fact, the only time I really play is our tournament, which is why I'm not that good anymore. I used to be pretty good.
Yeah, back in the day, we have an annual event.
Yep.
We have numerous events. We spoke about a few of them already, but we haven't spoke about beer pong. So we have an annual kind of like Halloween beer pong. Definitely. How did that come about? It
was actually Tim Green's idea at lunch at Ruby at Ruby Tuesdays.
No way.
I seriously remember exactly where we were sitting, like, lunch at Ruby Tuesdays. He's like, maybe we should do like a beer pong tournament. And it wasn't actually intended to be costume. What happened was it was sort of close to Halloween, but not really, the first one. And Tim and Nick Wexler, who were partners back then, showed up in this like ridiculous outfit where they just like pieced together the most ridiculous stuff they could find, like swim goggles and like the thing you wear over your head when you swim in competitions, like bath cap kind of thing, or what? A cap.
Of all the people at this table, you're the one who should know.
Yeah, I know.
Know that's cool.
And then they had like these tight like muscle shirts on and like these little shorts that said like cutie and something else in the back. Anyway, just the most ridiculous things they could put together, and they dressed like that. I think there was like one other team that dressed like that, and then the next year, because people remembered that they did that, like a few other teams dressed up, and then after that we're like, you know what, this is costume beer pong, and we're just going to do it around Halloween. And so then that's how it took off, and I think the costume aspect really
over the years, there's been some
amazing.
Yeah. And there's a prize for the best costume, and there's a prize for the winning team of the beer pong. I've never seen that. It goes so late. I've never seen that actually.
You never seen who actually win?
I usually have to wake up in the morning and say, who did win? I'm waiting for the email to come out. But it is a crazy, I mean, I don't know if you can ever imagine a hall just full of like beer pong tables.
Yeah, we literally have like 12 tables.
Yeah. And it's teams on, off, balls going everywhere. Beer going everywhere, typically as well. I mean, it is but it is a very cool, one of our very cool events. And we talk about our culture. It's one of our staples that we have throughout the year, where, like I say, we all get together and have fun, and you can play or not play, dress up or not dress up in that sense. But just one of and like I say, I remember them in numerous locations and crazy outfits, and you were very good. So that was back to my point. He was actually very, very good. Him and Tim, and they were very competitive. Don't get me wrong. This cool, calm face you're seeing very here, he's a very competitive chap. And especially when it comes to beer pong. And you guys won numerous times.
Yeah, at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
There's been some
Actually, it was great when he didn't win.
A little bit.
Everybody, yes. Chris and Tim didn't win. Yes.
I don't set up the tables.
Yeah, Tim Green, he sets those tables up. Sometimes a little questionable.
I can't speak for Tim. Hey, all we can do is stack the table, right?
Yeah.
Once we make it out of pool play, it's fair game.
Yep, there you go. I'll give you that.
That's progressed in terms of we've got technology involved in beer pong. And no
one wants to be in charge of the table.
No one wants to, trying to drag people from the bar. Hey, you're playing. Get over here. But it's such a fun night. It's such a fun night. One of the first events I ever went to. I wasn't actually even with the company at the time, and I went to that event. So just
my first experience with the company was a company event before Karen was. It was her first Christmas party.
Yeah,
so, yeah. That's where it all started.
Was that the one when Grace shot champagne all over the dance floor and everybody started falling?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Before Grace.
Before Grace, yeah, it was before Grace.
Yeah, we're OG.
Don't put Grace in front of it.
Grace is not an OG.
Well, no, that was a long time ago, but I guess not as long as you guys have been here.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some other stuff that we've done. So we've actually spoke about this in another episode, but we do have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun as a company, but me and Frank have a lot of fun also. Actually, thanks to Chris, in terms of we do things like Beachfront Banter, and we do the Tipsy Blokes. But we also have done numerous videos. And one of our absolute favorites, which we are editing to show you, was one we did where we actually, I don't know if many companies you can do this, where we actually went into Chris's house. We were explorers, and we sort of ransacked his house and did all kinds of, Anyway, we did all kinds of crazy stuff, and we're still here today. This is, again, many years ago. You'll see by the video it's many years ago by just how we're looking. But not only did we do that, but we also did this. We do know no one is safe, but we did get our trophy. We stole his car. Can you imagine stealing your boss's car? And we drove it. Let's go to Dustin's house. Driving.
Yeah, he's got guns and cool shit.
We did take a drive around.
Not only did we steal it, but we actually stole it and didn't give it back.
You did. You hid the car.
And we had your dad on. It was oh man, it was one of my favorite memories. And I always remember, like, didn't you text us like, all right guys, where is the car? And like,
funny joke, but where is
it's all good, but exactly this car I'm seeing for sale online. So we actually knew that Darren across the road, the neighbor, Chris's neighbor, and we stored the car there. But it was what a unique. If there was, I mean, I guess we talk a lot about how unique the company is, but you're never going to get more unique than that in terms of 2 employees ransacking the house and stealing the car of the owner of the company. That's pretty bonkers, I think.
So this is, so to set it up a little bit more, this was so we do the Shellies, is another culture event that we've talked about before, and it's just manifested over time into these live show and videos. And we were doing, now we've got our Explore Bayfront Explorers videos, and we did a spoof on it where we went through Chris's house, may have tried on some of his clothes, just again, that look he gave me, it's like he forgot. You've seen this, it's already been.
I have. It's awesome. It's awesome.
But so because Adam being who Adam is, he thought it would be hilarious to so when we were in the house and we were filming and going through their stuff and eating the food out of their fridge, and we swapped one of the family photos in his office with this one that was produced by
In the
by
office,
marketing.
no, we did in his office and in
And
the bar.
The bar I think is still there. I don't know if it's still there now.
There was two, but I'm pretty sure. I'm sure.
I think I still have that somewhere.
yeah.
On the
like
nightstand next
yeah,
to
he's
the bed,
making
right?
out. Yeah, somewhere. We know
But
where
the worst-
it's in
the
the
worst-
bathroom, and you look at it every morning. I get you.
The worst part though, we hid this right in kind of in plain sight, and we were gonna like, all right, like 3 years from now, you're gonna be like, what is this? It was 2 days later. This guy's keen sense of eye.
Yeah. After I'd been through, if I don't know, but we'd been through at their house, I'd have been looking as well,
Yeah,
to be honest. So too funny.
Very cool. Very cool.
On a previous episode, Adam talked about when he first, met with you to talk about working at Schell. And Adam had a little fumble. I'll let him tell the story, but I just want to know if you remember any of that.
But you should intro it.
I think I kind of do remember it.
Well, yeah, that's.
But I'm curious to hear what Adam has
But
to
I want to
say.
hear Chris's version first, if you recall, because it might not be that memorable.
Well, I just remember what I used to tease him about. Is that what we're talking
Well,
about?
hold on. No, let's
okay.
not waste it. Let's
mention that.
All right, Leo. I'm so happy.
So, James, you had a question. James, what was that question, buddy?
So my question basically was when, you first met Adam, he told us a story a few podcast episodes back. I wanted to know how you recall the event of first meeting Adam to talk about working at Schell and everything.
I don't totally know where you're going with this, but I will make my best stab at it. I had been asked to interview Adam by a very important political figure. And I remember thinking, shit, I might just have to hire this guy, whether I like him or not.
This is my favorite.
And
Go.
and I remember meeting him, and I was so predisposed to believe that he was going to be what I call a charity hire, in the sense that he didn't get hired on his merits. It was just because of who he knew. That I don't think I really properly evaluated him when I met him. But when I met him, I was like, wow, he's not so bad.
That's my impression too.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
This guy's pretty cool for a Brit. I mean, I can understand like every other word, but yeah. So I remember having sort of like this preconceived notion about who he was, and I can say now I was wrong. He's obviously been one of our best salespeople for years. But yeah, I did not expect him to be very effective at sales. We'll put it that way.
Well,
It's the best telling of that story I've ever heard.
But
just so you know.
you told me to go into sales. I was actually thinking, I was like, because I was in education. I was running a department. I was like, I think I can do construction. He was like, no, you're going into sales. I was like, okay.
No. Oh, and he had his whole story about his first lunch. And
Do you remember where it was? I'm not. I don't expect you to remember.
What was it like at 2C's?
No, but that would have been great if it would have been.
Yeah, for some reason I remember.
That'd actually make the story even
I
better. if it
actually
was
think
2Cs.
2C's might have been when I spoke to Pete about hiring you. I think that's when I remember.
Okay. It was the summer house. We had lunch at the summer house.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and there was a whole story.
There was
about
a whole
fumbled
story.
the money out of his
Christian
pocket. when he
remember.
tried-
I just
Doesn't remember.
anyway.
He doesn't. It's not memorable.
I fumbled. I was like, I'll pay the check, and I had to get my wallet out, and it fell on the floor. And he's like, it's okay. I'm like, no, I got it. Get that money off the floor. Oh, jeez. Anyway, thank you for that.
No, thank James for that. Thank you.
Yes,
That was
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Quick fire. Some quick fire questions. Now, like quick fire, it is that. It's quick fire. Okay. We've had struggles with people within the company.
JD is the worst. No,
JD was a struggle. Yes. Okay. So let's get into the gritty of the Pearl Palace, as we call it. Noisiest person in the office.
I mean, the whole marketing team. It's hard to pinpoint it down. That entire team, like,
Wow.
and maybe it's just because they're near, but
Yeah.
they get loud sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
all right.
struggling to be quiet now.
Gym partner, even though I know the
I didn't
answer.
see it.
Jamie Malt.
Jamie Malt from Creative Courtyard, one of our sister companies.
Used to be Jeff Anamone. Now it's Jamie Malt.
Yeah, well, Jeff moved on to bigger and better.
Heavier weights now. Just kidding.
Best person to go to lunch with?
My wife.
See, Dan, that's what you
Smart.
should have said.
Yeah. That's why he's the boss. That's why.
Best person in the company who tells stories. Best storyteller. No.
No, get out of here.
No.
Yeah, he's a good storyteller.
I'll take it.
Definitely
I'll
a
take
good
it.
storyteller.
Best dancer in the company.
Gosh, best dancer. Believe it or not, my brother's really good. People don't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
My brother's
that's a
very,
great
which is
exclusive.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy because we have the same DNA and I'm terrible. But he is very good. I don't know if I'd say he's the best, but he's surprisingly good.
Okay. Here's a really tough one is you'll struggle with in terms of quickfire, but fondest memory at the company. Your fondest memory will always come to mind.
I mean, I don't know if I can say my fondest like experiences were at Firefly. Like I loved it when we would sort of pre-party
Uh-huh.
and we'd all be hanging out before going into the show. And what would end up happening is we'd all be hanging out and everything was going so good and listening to music and people are drinking. And remember, I would eventually have to like turn off the music and be like, get out of here. Go into the show.
Go to the concert,
There's a music festival happening right there, right now. But I loved Firefly. That's why we're sort of trying to recreate it with Bonnaroo potentially.
Oh,
wow.
Like last year was intended to be sort of our test case of Bonnaroo, but it got rained out. So we either have to just take a leap of faith and say, okay, Bonnaroo is going to work out. But it is actually the closest festival venue, meaning it's the most similar to Firefly, I think.
I don't even know
Still think
where it
Firefly.
is. What I've never even heard of it.
Just south of Nashville.
Oh,
I mean, I have a ton of memories. Like I mean,
I'm sure.
but the Firefly stuff was my favorite.
With everybody else is cool.
Yeah.
Top tea ever created at Schell Brothers.
Top
Your favorite T-shirt.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know it's blue, but which one?
I mean, I liked the one that was the quote that Carmen said, like something about summer never ends when you live at the beach.
There you go. That's it.
That was a pretty good one.
Good.
I like that one.
Good. Any other top swag? Any other top swag? And on top of that, how do you feel? Does it ever do you ever think, oh, it's strange having my name on everything I wear? Does
You
it
know,
ever-
I don't think of it that way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe I should, but like our company has become like so much of a standalone entity on its own, meaning I don't really associate it with my name. Like when I refer to it, I'm not thinking like it has my name in it because I've known it for 22 years now.
So you've
And,
never said
like-
it's me, brothers? You've never.
Yeah. So like I don't think of it that way. I just think of it as like the name of our company. And it never really like crossed in my mind that it's got my name on it. And by the way, for your audience, we tried probably 20 different names that did not have the word Schell in it. But we knew we had to have the .com web address. So we kept trying the name and .com and it would be taken. And then we tried .net and it'd be taken. Because back then there were, and I'm sure there still are, a ton of squatters. So like any name that seemed like it might make sense had people squatting on it.
But what were some of the other names? I'm intrigued.
I mean, there was I can't even remember at this point, but it was stuff that was like didn't have anything to do with my name, right? And it was actually Justin Healy who's like, "Have you tried Schell Brothers?" And so we were sitting at Brouhaha, the old like coffee shop in Rehoboth, and we typed in on the laptop because cell phones. This was a while ago on the laptop, schellbrothers.com, and it like went to like the error thing.
Oh yeah.
Which means like it wasn't taken. And I was like, you know what? That's it.
Yeah, it's
Because I'm tired of like looking for names. So that's actually the whole reason that the company is called Schell Brothers.
And the logo? How about the logo?
was so the logo was actually created by Katie Green,
Yeah.
but I was pretty specific about what I wanted. I said I want a tree that looks strong and that like isn't overly complicated. Like I don't need to see leaves or anything. Like I need it to be something that could make a logo, right? And she played with some stuff, and I think she nailed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
going back, last two, very easy. Yeah, I've gone very easy on you. Best local place for a drink. Where would you go?
For a drink, I mean, I think I have to say the Starboard.
Okay, we don't have to. You can say whatever you want.
I mean,
It's a safe space.
basically all the Starboard places I like. I mean, I like anything in Dewey pretty much.
And then if it was your birthday, which we all know, actually, we all know Chris's birthday, where would you go for dinner? What's your favorite dinner spot?
So now maybe I'd go with Theo's.
Oh,
We also really like Shorebreak.
yeah,
Shorebreak,
yeah.
Shorebreak Lodge.
Yeah. That's gone for a few people in its time
Yeah.
as well, in terms of. I would never have picked those two places out, so that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Yeah,
Adam, when is Chris's birthday?
because his birthday.
Oh yeah, because everybody.
410.
Yeah.
410. Oh, you just didn't believe me.
You did.
Just wanted to check if you knew.
Yeah,
Just check.
no.
True. That is true.
No. Chris and Preston, if you did. All right, I did it. We did.
You did it right.
fire. Okay.
Before we wrap things up, out of curiosity, so I want to know. I'm curious. Like, what is your favorite aspect of the home building? Whether it's like creating the homes, communities, construction. Like, what is it that like from start to finish, like a point that you're like you get excited or you're.
So, I mean, it's a great question.
It's a great-
I think I love the fact that we create something that people care about.
Very cool.
Like I don't want to sell something that people are sort of indifferent about, right? Because our whole mission is to like bring happiness, and it's not just to us. I mean, obviously, you know, the sort of impetus for the company was me trying to find happiness, but our mission is about bringing happiness to ourselves and to anybody we interact with, our customers obviously being a large group of who we interact with. But there's very few products you can make for somebody that like actually brings happiness. I mean, like I kind of learned that with money, right? But one product that I think can be impactful to somebody's life and their happiness is their home.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it's completely different than what I used to do. Like what I used to do, you didn't see any tangible product. Like you were just moving money around in like electronic networks, right? So you didn't even like see any money moving around or anything. So we literally were not creating anything. Like you could argue that maybe we were creating a little bit of liquidity for those markets, but like that's sort of a bogus answer. But creating somebody's home, you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, and it definitely has an impact on people's happiness. I mean, they
Biggest
wake up.
investment they're ever going to make.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they spend what, like 2/3 of their time in it.
Right.
Yeah. No, and even now, even that's changed, right? Working remotely and whatnot. I mean, people, they spend a lot of time in their homes. No, we talk about it all the time. Like you just said, biggest, for most people, financial and emotional investment. This is someone's home. This is where they lay down at night. This is where they're themselves. This is where they protect their family. So we see it, being out in the field. So, hearing it again from the top down, like it's,
I don't know how many people know, but Chris actually, with a little help from myself, actually designs, he creates the houses, the floor plans. Again, one of those things I talked about in terms of like learning and research and whatnot, but Chris actually, I feel like when you think of someone who owns a company, you don't think of them actually doing the work of actually creating floor plans. And I don't know, would you agree? Like,
oh yeah, no, I mean, again, it's very
he's not just a
hands-on.
figurehead.
Yeah.
He's not just a face. Thankfully, that's why we have me. But he actually does create the floor plans, which I think is like it's just goes on to that thing of like say it's unusual in that sense. I feel, and also Chris is a local guy, and we've talked about this before in terms of you'll bump into Chris into bars, no doubt, and around the area. And again, that's unusual. We talk about this in terms of as a company and as a family, we're very proud, but we're also very visible.
Yeah.
And we are everywhere around the beach towns and obviously our other divisions as well. So it's very normal. And again, I don't feel like you get that with a lot of like big national builders and so on. You don't really see the people who are making the homes and doing all the work, and you will see us.
Yeah, and that's part of what makes the story cool, right? I talk about this all the time too. Like if it's in your home, if it's in Chris's house, it makes its way into everyone's home, right? When you switched over to Train as the manufacturer that you were using in certain divisions, and the way the fresh air intake and all that stuff, that when you live in your home and you're like, oh, this is better, this is healthier, this is functional, and then next thing you know, we're rolling it out into all of our homes, right? So I mean, again, it's not very common that you have someone at the top who is, like you said, you'll see around town, or you better your own situations, you better everybody's situation. So very admirable, very, very, very fun to be a part of this.
Yes.
And if I kiss your butt a little more, no, I'm just kidding.
I do think the
hey, his birthday. So that's good.
Yeah. The people aspect of our company, I think, is what I enjoy the most.
Mm.
Like it literally is like, like there's a lot of camaraderie. People go to bat for each other. I think we have like a culture of being kind and good to each other, and not sort of like engaging in any of like the office politics or backstabbing that might happen at other companies. And I think that, plus we have a lot of fun together too. I mean, like you guys talked about some of the events, like we're always hanging out with each other. We have like some company-wide things, but like I would say one of the things that's unique about our company, most of the people in the company, their best friends are also in the company.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely true with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely true with you guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. but that's not common, and it's actually like discouraged in most companies. Like most companies, they want you to just work there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You don't need to be friends with anybody, you just work here. And I actually think that that's backwards, because that creates a culture where everybody's out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like if everybody's friends with everybody, you're going to want to work hard for them also.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And our events pull people together. Like we are, obviously there's lots of divisions in the company in terms of in our sister companies, but also like sales, construction, the Pearly Palace, the main office, in that regards. But when we do have company meetings and also events, it does bring us all together. Mm-hmm. And we do see each other because, so we're out in the, as we say, we're on an island, so to speak. And the construction guys to a point are also, but it does bring everybody together. And that's, for camaraderie, it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of t-shirts I've gathered over the years.
Dude, I have so many, and I can't get myself to throw away. Like if I have 2 or 3 of the same one, maybe I'll throw away 2 of them or whatever. But I have.
You kept them all? No.
So I have bins in my attic that I write sentimental clothing on it.
Really? Yeah.
And I have saved all my Schell Brothers stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have
a good amount. I have a good amount in a sealed bag. But I thought about this. This is a really good idea. You know what you should do?
Because you thought about
it. Wait, maybe I should put it on the heartbeat first. You should make get the tees and then make quilts. Blankets for the house, and use the tees.
Yeah, it's not a bad
idea. Because you're not
idea.
actually going to use them. They're going to stay.
No, they're going to stay there. I just thought that maybe my great grandkids somewhere down the road would be like, what's in great grandpa's box? And open it up.
Just t-shirts.
Yeah.
What's this guy?
A lot of blues. A lot of blues.
Well, that's awesome. I do know we have a ton of other things we need to talk about, and there's so many big things I could even, top of my head, we could talk about Schellville, we could talk about the many years ago, actually a little bit before you, for us OGs, when we did the when we did the house on Cool Spring Road.
You mean Extreme Makeover?
Extreme Makeover.
I was here for that.
So there's lots more to bring out of the vault. And probably more videos as well. But thank you for coming over and chatting with us. And also, actually, I should say, I often do say, but thank you for allowing us to do this. Again, kind of unique to, like I said, we're allowed to give ideas, but also execute them with your help. And these guys, obviously. But no, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah.
I can't think of 2 other people in our company who could pull this off.
All right,
I'll
take that. Take
Yep.
that.
But you guys have been doing this for years. In one way or another, you've been doing something like this for years.
We have no camera. We just do it. We just talk. Just like hear ourselves talk. Adam will do a selfie on the phone.
Well, guys, we'll see you again. That's the end of the episode. Please keep watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank
cheers.
you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.